Hey, what's up YouTube? It's a Blue Golf Ball today with another Pokemon TCG online video, and today I have for you guys a Seviper deck. And this is the Team Aqua Seviper deck. It is a 90 HP Psychic type Pokemon. Its first attack is Venomous Fang, and if you flip heads, you can poison your Pokemon. It does 10 damage. And if you can slap a Muscle Band in there, it'll do 30, so you know, okay. But the attack we want to focus on is going to be Venom Tail. And if your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition, you can discard an energy card attached to that Pokemon. So the idea here is going to be energy disruption. So we're going to be, you probably guessed it, we're going to be playing things like Enhanced Hammer and Crushing Hammer and things like that. Excuse me. So if you play a Muscle Band, yeah, it's going to be 50, right? And if you have Verbank City Gem plus poison damage, it's going to be 80 damage across the board. And then coming back into your turn, it'll be 110 damage. But we're only playing one Verbank City Gem because we're going to be focusing on Dimension Valley, being able to abuse the Dimension Valley effect, having only one colorless energy here to do the attack, which is pretty solid. Now, to get around a couple things here, we will be playing Dragalge since we're going to be using Hypnotoxic Laser. We might as well play Dragalge to have Poison Barrier so that our opponent can't retreat. And then we're going to be using Virizion EX. Now, you're thinking, why Virizion EX? It's got Verdant Wind, yeah, right? So each of your Pokemon that has Grass Energy can't be affected by special conditions. What we want to do is play Munna. Munna's got the ability Long Distance Hypnosis. Now, if we run into a situation where we don't have any Hypnotoxic Lasers and we still need to do Venom Tail, we can play Munna to try to get our opponent to fall asleep, and then we can do Venom Tail with third damage and discard an energy card. See, this works pretty well if you don't flip Tails. Now, the problem with this is that when you flip heads, your opponent's active Pokemon wouldn't be asleep. But if you flip tails, you actually fall asleep. So we want to use Virizion EX here for Verdant Wind so that we can protect ourselves from our own special conditions. And the last Pokemon here is going to be Mew EX, and that's going to be mostly for the ability effect that we can use. You know, so the ability Versatile, that's what I meant. Being able to use any attack, and we'll probably just copy Venom Tail. That's most likely what we'll do. And I understand it is an EX, and you know, we do lose 2 prizes for it, but being 120 HP is a little bit better than being, you know, 90 HP. So if we run into Pyroar, that's gonna be a pain. But hey, we'll see if we can poison Pyroar to death. But you know, again, Pokemon don't faint or don't die; they faint. So for the aspect of choice is going to be Computer Search, being able to discard 2 cards just to search for any card, and yeah, it really helps for consistency. We have Crushing Hammers, 4 of these, 2 Enhanced Hammers, 1 Escape Rope, 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers, 1 Star on the Megaphone, 1 Switch as well. You never know when Switch can come in handy. 3 Ultra Balls to get the Pokemon we need. 2 Via Seekers just to get the supporters back into your hand from the discard pile. For the support line, we got Colress, 2 Lysanders, 1 Lysander's trump card, and Professor Birch's Observation, Juniper, Shadow Triad to get the Hypnotoxic Laser back into our hand, and Dimension Valley, 3 of these with 1 Verbank City Gem. We do have 3 Muscle Bands and 1 Silver Bangle, and then we have 4 Grass Energies and 5 Psychic Energies. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see this deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, looks like we're going against Gaokun, and that's going to be a Water and Grass deck. My opponent chose Tails, but it was actually Heads, so we got to go first. We start off pretty strong here. We get to go with the Seviper. With knowing that we can start with Seviper, I really don't mind starting with him. But you know, let's go with the Long Distance Hypnosis, and we were able to get Heads, and we're gonna end the turn. So my opponent does stay asleep. I mean, I thought that really matters. If my opponent stays asleep going into our turn, that's probably the best case scenario. That way we can discard an energy. But we're going to have to wait and see. So there we go. The Piplup gets an energy drop there. And there we go. The Piplup does wake up. Let's see. What I want to do is this, right? So I want to be able to get the Virizion out, and that way we can do Long Distance Hypnosis and not have to worry about it. So we flip heads, and there is now a big bug on my desk, and I just killed it. Okay, let's go with the Venomance. Okay, there it is. The Piplup is now down for the count, I hope. Oh man, that is terrible. I just killed a big bug. All right. Okay, we will knock out the Piplup in the next turn. But okay, there it is. My opponent concedes, and we get a ticket. So that's fine and dandy. Let's go ahead and see what other matches we can run into with the Seviper deck. We got Bad Player 4888. I'm going to go for tails. And it is heads. I don't mind that. If we start with the Seviper, that's not a terrible start. We even get the psychic energy. So that's a solid start. My opponent is weak against psychic types. I had to double check there to see if my mic was on mute or not. So here we go. We see another Metatite hit the field. We also see a Halucha there. We don't need to worry about that guy. I mean, we don't have any EXs as of right now. My opponent goes for a Professor's Letter. Definitely we could see a smack. But I mean, let's see if we can get a muscle band, right? We shouldn't be too worried. But you know what? We get the Dimension Valley, so I'm gonna go ahead and just knock this Metatite out. No need to use the Crushing Hammers. My opponent only has 5 cards. Let's go ahead. Let's go for the Venom Tail. Look at that, taking out the little Metatite. Goodbye, strong energy. And here comes the Halucha with a free retreat, being able to retreat into Metatite if needed. And I would assume what we're going to see, there it is, the Metacham. My opponent even plays a Teammates. That's very nice. That way my opponent can get something like Strong Energy and Muscle Band. That would actually end the game. And, oh man. Yep, it's going to be Strong Energy and Muscle Band right here. Oh, we see Fighting Stadium, and we see a strong... Oh, wow. I did not see that coming. If my opponent would have gone for a... oh, well, all right. Let's take this right here. And, let's counter the Stadium. Okay, let's go with that right there. And let's go with this here. Tails. Okay, let's go with this again. Heads, and we'll get rid of that. And let's go for the Venom Tail. Why not? There we go. Alright, the Metacham is now at 30 HP, and oh my goodness. My opponent heals some, and heals some again. It's a little inconvenient. I'd like to get a Muscle Band at this point, so let's go for that. We don't get a Muscle Band, and we do get the Dimension Valley. Let's go ahead and discard that energy. And there we go. Venom Tail once again hitting for 60. My opponent can drop another energy and then heal quite, all the damage off again. How inconvenient. We see the Machop hit the field. We also see a Professor's Letter. My opponent can definitely play this so my opponent can retreat. That's actually an option there. My opponent goes for a Repeat Ball, getting another Machop. So this is going to be some kind of Machamp deck. We see a Full Art Sharon come into play. Okay. I'm looking around right now for more bugs. That was odd. Why was there bugs here? And wow, this is just not getting anywhere. I'm going to go for the N, and we do get a Hypnotoxic Laser. That's pretty good. So let's go for the Venom Tail. We at least discard the energy, so that's a lot of energy. And well, yeah, that's 4 energies in the discard pile. My opponent can definitely heal some more damage off. That's an option as well. We see the Karina come into play, and I mean, that could go for a Computer Search, which can get a Strong Energy. That would work as well. That would actually knock us out. Or a Scramble Switch. Okay, that definitely threw me off. My opponent can knock us out right here. No, my opponent cannot. And that would be another 40 damage on us. And my opponent goes for a Teammates. Now, we are in quite a bit of danger here. But I'm not too concerned. Let's see here. What we can do, we'll definitely go for the Hypnotoxic Laser. We need to get a bench down right now. Let's go for the Hypnotoxic Laser, and we do flip heads. Let's go for the VS Seeker. And what I want to do is get the N, right? This Landorus can be pretty troublesome. We get another Servine here. We even get this here. And we get an Ultra Ball, which we can get in the next turn. For the Virizion. So for now, let's go with the Venom Tail, discarding the energy. My opponent does stay asleep. I want to get rid of this Landorus. We do see a Machop over there. That could be very troublesome. Oh man, I'm getting a little nervous here. There could be some more bugs flying around or something. That's odd. I mean, I don't know. It's still cold where I'm at. How can there be bugs out here? You know, like the weather outside is like, let's see, what, 30 degrees right now where I live? Huh. Okay, so my opponent was able to get the Karina, and we see the Machamp getting powered up here. I'm not too concerned. Let's go ahead, and we will end up discarding a couple cards. Let's take a look at how many more energies we have. We need 1, 2. We got 2 grass energies. We should be okay. And we get the Virizion out here, and let's go for the Juniper. We do get this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize any risks that we have. And let's just go for the switch into this one here. And let's test this. Let's go for the long distance hypnosis, and yes, we're able to put the landers to sleep. Let's go for another poisonous tail, venom tail, whatever. My opponent does wake up, but will pass out at the end of this turn. So my opponent will go for one last hit. And getting the extra boost from Machamp does hurt our Seviper here. We can definitely retreat into the Mew EX. That's always an option there. But we only have a handful of energies, grass energies, left. I would assume the Machamp will come to play at some point. But for now, we see the Hawlucha. So what I'd like to do is probably just go for the Hypnotoxic Laser, I guess. Alright, let's go with this. Let's just go with the long distance hypnosis. I'm not too concerned at this point. Let's do that. Okay, and there we go. The Hawlucha stays asleep, and we'll go for the Venom Tail. And the Hawlucha does wake up. That's a bummer. The Machamp will come out, but you know, we'll just bring out our Mute EX, maybe our Seviper here. That's always a good choice. And we are at 10 HP, but we'll do a handful of damage. The Machamp is weak against Psychic. And my opponent brings out the Lysander and hits 80 damage on the Virizion EX. Okay, so this is a pretty tough call here, folks. What we're going to do is we're going to play the Verbing Sigil. No, I'm going to hang on to it. I'm going to go for the... Oh, man. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to... I'm going to play the Juniper. Let's go for the... what I want to do is at least retreat, right? You retreat into, like, the Scralp or something. Okay, there we go. We even get a Enhanced Hammer. And what I want to do is, at the very least, retreat into something else, because this version is in danger of getting knocked out. Oh man, let's see here. My opponent can do Machamp Crush. My opponent's also got a Muscle Band, so that's doing 100 damage. My opponent has 1, 2, 3 strong energies in the discard pile, so maybe the Mew can survive the turn. So, how many times can we say that? Maybe the Mew can survive the turn. And the Hawlucha does pass out from the poison damage. We see the Machamp here. The sad part is we discarded our Shadow Triad, but we can always get it back with another VS Seeker. And we still have our... and that's it. My opponent concedes. Alrighty then. And we even get a nice little prize. Okay, well, there we go. 50 coins. That was the prize. I think I'm done for today. It's getting pretty late. And yeah, so hopefully you guys liked the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Give me a thumbs up if you like the idea of Seviper from Team Aqua. It's a unique idea. It's kind of different, and it's also it's kind of like a budget deck of sorts, right? Because Mew EX isn't too expensive. The only really expensive is Virizion EX, which is like $30. But you can easily substitute Virizion EX for something else. You know, if you want to throw in like Slurpuff from XY set, the base set, that's actually a pretty good choice as well. Otherwise, yeah, if you guys have any other deck ideas, shoot them my way. I'll see too if I can build them. And you guys take care. Have a good day. Goodbye.